Hello again, my most amazing artists. Today we are looking at the artwork of Heather Hansen. Heather Hansen makes kinetic drawings. Kinetic means in motion or shows movement in art. We will see how she uses her whole body to create some kinetic drawings. Let's check it out. Heather Hansen is an artist originally from Idaho who uses mixed mediums to create large drawings using her body as a tool. Her current studio is based in New Orleans, but she calls herself somewhat of a nomad and travels the world sporadically with her son. We are going to look at Empty Gestures, an experiment in kinetic drawing. That's the title of these works of art. We can see here the scale that she is working on. They're very large pieces of art. She says, in this series, I am exploring ways to download my movement directly onto paper, emptying one gesture to another form. Let's look here at this video. So here we can see that she is using her whole body and the range of her arms to move. She's pivoting around her work of art. These artworks aren't necessarily supposed to look like anything in particular, though you might see some things. It is a little bit abstracted. It's not realistic art. She does often compare her work to things like atoms or other kind of small scientific things like the patterns in nature. Again, notice how she's reaching with her whole body. She can make some nice smooth curved lines that way. Another thing that we see in her work is she is using a material known as charcoal, which is a lot like chalk pastels that you might be more familiar with. So here we can see her reaching, and a lot of those patterns get repeated over and over again. They are symmetrical. Hey, there's a word we recognize. Same on both sides, symmetry. We're going to be using some symmetry in our own artwork today. Let's take a look at this interview. She says, how did you come to adopt kinetic drawing as your primary style? And then Heather answers, I was just having a really hard time, so I decided I needed some daily practice that would help me transition. I started to keep a journal, and every day I would dance or do yoga and draw. I decided to commit to it for a year, so I made it to public, and sooner or later it started winding the two together. Here we can see that her work is not very neat and tidy. She does use her hands to smooth that chalk pastel out or that charcoal out, and it can be a little messy, so prepare yourself for that. Here she says, admit a piece you always move without hesitation. Is it pre-planned or improvised? She says, if I hesitate, I risk interrupting the flow. Even if I make a mistake or break my charcoal, I try to remain present and continue. Even mistakes are interesting in this approach because the intention is consistent. You have to be brave enough to fail. Wise words from an artist. Here's some work of hers in the Louisiana Art and Science Museum. Here is some of her work with the public or her community work. We're going to be trying something very similar today. I hope you enjoy Heather Hansen's artwork, and let's see how we're going to create our own work inspired by her kinetic drawing.
When I started working with this idea, it was just me. But I've always had this idea since I started doing it. Maybe it's just because I think like a choreographer that it would be really beautiful to see a group of dancers creating a giant drawing together in unison, like synchronized drawing, like synchronized swimming. And I actually have always felt when I choreograph that the dancers are my paint. So this is actually just a more literal way to show that idea. My name is Heather Hansen, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist based in New Orleans. I've been invited by the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum to show my work for the upcoming Prospect 3 Art Biennial. Harmonic will be a unique, immersive, 360-degree full dome screen film. Expanding on a previous body of work I've been developing, using other dancers to create more elaborate and interconnected choreographed patterns. I'm incredibly excited for this opportunity to develop this piece, and I've assembled a group of incredibly talented artists and experts and technicians who I am confident will help me carry this out.
All right, we're ready to do our Heather Hansen project. We have our drawing utensils for each of our hands, and Jonah's going to be the leader. We're going to go ahead and tape our papers down before we get started so they don't move around while we're drawing. All right, and Jonah is going to start wherever he goes, and I'm going to copy, okay, because I'm the follower. Oh, what did you do there? I tried. Oh, I went the wrong way. That's good. This is harder than it looks.
Yeah, that's pretty
You
weird.
want to keep going? You want me to lead?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Oh, not ready to tape.
Yeah.
Let's put this there for a second.
3 times. Okay. Do you think we should switch colors?
Here we can see students working in pairs. So you will need to find a partner. After you have selected your partner, you're each going to pick one color so that you each have 2. They should match each other. One person will lead, and the other person will mirror the motions that they create. Your artwork should look very similar, and then you will switch roles. Here, we are going to see a few works by Heather Hansen. We are going to try to create some very similar works, and be sure when you are working that you're trying to use the length of your arm. You're trying to create some flow or some movement in your work. We really want to see how our bodies can help move to create this work of art. So we're going to take our chalk pieces. We're going to follow along with our partner, and I hope you have a lot of fun creating this artwork inspired by Heather Hansen.